take me way back. When did your plantar fasciitis or fasciopathy start? And when did you notice it starting in the beginning? And then go into any treatments that you tried, or did you go on Google? Did you look at exercise? Did you tell me, like, what's in a patient's mind when they have foot pain and they're really not in the medical field?
Sure. Well, number one, thank you for having me on. I was happy to join this podcast because anything I can do to help people who are suffering from a condition like I was for a very long period of time, I'm happy to do.
That's awesome.
And so by way of background, a lifelong athlete, have always played basketball through high school and college, and since graduating college, played basketball minimum sort of 2-3 times per week. When COVID hit, couldn't play basketball, moved to Florida, and started getting very into tennis. And so instead of playing basketball 2 to 3 times a week, was playing tennis 2 to 3 times a week. Moved to Florida September of 2020, and probably around May or June of 2021, I remember it very specifically. I was playing a Sunday morning tennis match with a guy I played with all the time. And all of a sudden, I went to hit a forehand, and I just felt this pain in the bottom of my foot. Now, I've been playing sports all my life, so you're used to sort of little pains here and there, and you typically just try to play through it. But I couldn't play through it. And that was what I'm going to call the beginning of a 4-year, actually closer to 5, I guess, when you factor in the timeline, odyssey of struggling with plantar fasciitis. You apparently just gave it a different name, which you can tell me about, in both feet, in both the right and left foot.
Yeah, I find that interesting. I'll intervene here just for a second, but I find that interesting because people wonder why they have this condition in the first place. And you just alluded to an actual mechanism of injury. So you actually had an injury in one of the feet. But then we have to describe why both feet ended up being in a chronic state of pain for you just from that one incident. I mean, the human body is miraculous. It heals itself. Sometimes people don't let themselves heal. They don't have enough recovery time. They don't give injury enough time to heal. And when that happens, it can spiral into a chronic condition. The body actually goes into a state where it can't heal itself like it normally would. And so go ahead and tell me, that was tennis, basketball. Tell me a little bit more about how did this become such a prevalent condition in your life? I mean, why did it last so long? Did you continue to play through?
So it's a very good question, and I wish I had a concise, specific answer for you. But
in your perception, though, I know I didn't get better, but in your perception as a patient, as an athlete, how did it spiral? Like, what happened? You kept playing through it?
Well, initially I couldn't play through it, so I was in a lot of pain,
Okay.
and then I took a lot of time off, and then with time off, it probably either it healed or the inflammation went down, and so it wasn't as painful. And then I would try to play again, and it would come back. And what's strange is, and again, I wish I could give exact timelines, but over the span of the last, call it 4.5 to 5 years, whatever timeline is, probably somewhere about 60% of the time, I've been struggling with some form of pain on a combination of my right and left foot. Most specifically, I believe I came to you probably at this point, 8-9 months ago. You may know the more exact time horizon.
Yeah, if we went into the chart, I would know.
Yeah,
for
maybe
sure,
even a little left, struggling with pain in my left foot. So if we want to talk about this most recent pain condition, I was playing in a basketball league, a league I've been playing in for a very long time. Thought I was in the clear. Thought my feet were better. Felt like, oh, thank God this is behind me, etc. And all of a sudden, at the end of one game, it started bothering me again. And basically, for a period of about now 2 seasons, I kind of played through the pain. So it wasn't pain so bad that I couldn't play through it, but it was just a discomfort at the bottom of my foot that I guess the only way I can describe it was just a pain, a chronic, annoying, somewhat painful pain. I was able to still play basketball and actually at a fairly decent level. But the day after games, I mean, I could barely walk. And sometimes it would even extend. I'd play a Monday night game, and I wouldn't start walking and feeling normal again until Thursday.
Yeah, and so we know the physical experience, right?
Yep.
Tell me what that does to somebody psychologically. Like, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 45 years old.
Okay, so 45, very active. You care about your health. You love basketball. You love recreational sports, the social aspect, the physical health aspect. But how about the psychological? How does it feel as a 40, you were in the 41, 42 age group, 43,
when
40,
started. Yep.
right? So how does someone that age feel like, hey, man, I'm feeling like I'm 95 already. I can't deal with this pain. And what does it do to your life and what were you thinking in your mind about this foot pain? Because this is so devastating for people's lives, especially when it becomes chronic and it seems like there's no hope. It's hopeless. Like it just keeps coming back. And I think that's what drives people. How did that make you feel like psychologically?
Sure. So first thing I want to say is I want to think of myself as someone who has perspective in life, okay? And so on a logical level, I always understood that, hey, everyone deals with something. Thank God this is not cancer. This is not, any of the, I want to just acknowledge the perspective. Like I was dealing with some foot pain as a person in his 40s who was playing sports, and that's what it was.
Right. Nice.
On a logical level. But on a more psychological level, it was very difficult on me. It was frustrating. There were times I think I felt a little bit depressed because of it. It was especially hard on me because I was transitioning to a new life in Florida where I was working from home. I had always gone to an office. And so sports play a very important role in my life, not just physically in the way I love it, but also socially. And I was prevented from doing that. It was an important social outlet for me. And it was just a very, very frustrating thing as someone who's been an athlete his entire life, who thought he knew how his body worked, who always took good care of his body. I mean, I've never been someone who let myself get out of shape. Like I said, I've played basketball and been in shape pretty consistently since I was 10 years old, even before then, I guess.
Right.
So it was hard on me, for
yeah,
sure.
I think a lot of people are at a loss of why did this happen to me? Okay, you get injured, but why does it keep going? Why is it not going away? I mean, that's a pretty critical thing. So tell me, in your early days when you were experiencing these symptoms, what did you do? Like, what would you do first? Was it first to go to Google? Was it first to ask a friend? Go to your physician? Like, what were your steps at saying, look, I got to do something about this?
Sure. So step one was Google, which led me to a podiatrist.
What did you search?
The first podiatrist.
What did you search? Do you remember what you searched?
Probably something like struggling with heel pain.
Okay.
Heel pain while playing sports. I didn't even know it was plantar fasciitis at first.
Gotcha.
I went to see a podiatrist who, he basically told me, he said, yeah, look, I mean, like I deal with people with serious stuff. You'll be fine in a few months. Like you're an athletic guy. It's just fairly normal, et cetera. Gave me custom orthotics. I wish it were only a few months. It persisted a lot longer. I've probably at this point been to see, before I came to see you, 3 different podiatrists. I also went to go see an orthopedic person.
Okay.
Had at least 2 cortisone shots in my left foot. Probably another 1 or 2 in my right foot. And it was just this sort of chronic on again, off again thing that it was just very, very difficult on me. To some extent, it was almost a bit of an identity crisis because I always prioritized myself as like the guy who shows up and plays.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's
right.
funny. And I had this whole new group of guys in Boca who were good ball players, who were my kind of guys, who, and they loved me and they respected me, but like they also didn't see me for what I felt I was, which was this super reliable, durable guy. They viewed me as, hey, here's this guy in his early to mid 40s who's like consistently getting hurt,
So important.
And I had just a series for about 4 years of sort of starts and stops, and it was really frustrating, even to the point at one point I said, hey, maybe it's time to give the basketball a rest and focus on tennis.
And that right there is why I'm in practice, because that breaks my heart. Because the very interesting thing you said to me, I don't know if it sticks out to anybody else, but you just told me you went to not 1, not 2, but 3 podiatrists, and I don't know if that includes the 4th one, the initial one you went to, but you went to multiple podiatrists. Why is that? Did you not like the answers? Did you not like the results? Were they different answers? What were the solutions? What were the diagnostic things done? Like, what was the issue?
The best explanation I can give you is desperation.
Desperation.
And it's, so to give you a sense, I purchased some very expensive orthotics initially, bunch of pairs. Pain went away. Pain eventually came back. Then I did some more generic ones from a different guy. Pain went away. Pain came back. Then I purchased another pair of I was throwing the kitchen sink at this thing. It's my feet. It's my foundation. It's my vitality, my life to a large extent. I mean, I would have done anything to try to fix and solve the problem.